gotta love a civil war, right? No, 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 no. We're not talking about Americans versus Americans. It's more complicated than that, because you have Elon Musk right now eating a lot of crow because he's asking to promote positivity on X amid controversies. What kind of controversy is that? Well, Musk and Vivek decided to, in their big brain tactic, kind of talk down to MAGA supporters, because there's a fight over the H-1B visas and the MAGA backlash. Who will win? MAGA or the tech bros in Silicon Valley? You see, I said this would happen, more or less. You can't trust these millionaires and billionaires. Everyone has to learn this lesson. Trump supporters, just because Elon was with your boy Trump does not mean he's with you guys all the way. A billionaire is going to do what a billionaire does, and oh wait, Trump's a part of that group. It's one big club, and you ain't in it. We got to talk, guys and gals on the right. Listen. We got to talk. We got to talk.
Just over 3 weeks ago now until the inauguration, President-elect Donald Trump, though, may have the first Republican fight of the new year on his hands a little early. A debate that started where else? Online. Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, the two men tasked with making the government more efficient, were making the kind of argument you don't hear a lot right now from Republicans for more immigration, specifically for expanding the visa program for high.
Danny, I didn't even notice that. He does look like Jimmy Neutron. Vivek actually looks like Jimmy Neutron. I didn't know that. He kind of does. Look, he does. He looks like Jimmy Neutron. Yo. All right. Listen. Everybody be nice. Don't be making fun of Vivek, okay? He stepped in it big time.
Highly skilled workers. Musk posting on his platform X, quote, the number of people who are super talented engineers and super motivated in the USA is far too low. Think of it like a pro sports team. If you want your team to win the championship, you need to recruit top talent wherever they may be.
What about America, huh? I thought this was America. Oh, you shouldn't have stepped in it that bad, Vivek. Why? Why would you do that? And you, Elon, why would you do that?
Those comments led to a backlash from the MAGA faithful who want to see immigration curbed. So we'll put a pin there, bring in Pete Seat, former White House spokesperson under President George W. Bush and vice president of Bo's Public Affairs Group, and Nomiki Konst, former Bernie Sanders.
Oh, God, Nomiki. Why would you bring her out for this one? Ugh. I'm sorry. If your brain vomits, I'm sorry.
Surrogate and DNC reform commissioner. Good to have both of you here. And Pete, we pick it back up now. Obviously, Musk and Ramaswamy are from big tech. That's an industry that's long depended on talent from overseas, bringing in the best and the brightest. It's probably not a surprise that they feel the way they do, but it is interesting to see them come up against the MAGA faithful on this.
Well, it is the nature of political coalitions that folks rally around the big message, the big argument of a campaign, and kind of suppress some of the detailed disagreements that they might have. And now you have one of those bubbling to the surface. And I got to say, I love this. I love a good, passionate, substantive policy debate where both the proponents and the opponents are making good arguments.
Oh, shut up. Oh, what a nerd. I'm sorry, man. No. First of all, you got the tech bros wanting to have their work done by how they select it, and they want to control that narrative, okay? And then, of course, you got the MAGA people, on the other hand, saying, oh, immigrate. No, we got to deport. Hey, America first. Listen, these billionaires don't think about any nation first. What they think about first is their wallet and the money that they're making. M-O-N-E-Y. Money. M-O-N-E-Y. That's the watchword. Nothing comes first. And you want to know why nothing else comes first? Is because they care about their, again, investments for future acquisitions, things that they want to control. And what's the one thing all these corporate overlords, these billionaires, these hedge fund managers, Wall Street executives, big banks, what do they control? Influence over the politicians in Washington, D.C.
Elon Musk is right. If we want America to win in this global economy, in this global environment, then we need to attract the best and the brightest. They're not always here just because this is America. They're not necessarily born here. Vivek Ramaswamy makes a good point that we have erred on the side of mediocrity over meritocracy over the years. Look at education and athletics in the workplace, where we've moved the bar to make things easier, far too easy at times, rather than going for full-on success. And the opponents are making a good point too, that the H-1B visa program is anti-competitive and it is exploitative of workers who are stuck in jobs, cannot negotiate higher salaries and wages, and it needs some reform. So this is a great debate to be having.
So if this could be that substantive, solid policy debate that you're hoping it would be, Pete, Nomi, could this be an area, right, where we could actually see Democrats come to the table? Could there be an actual substantive debate between both sides of the aisle?
I don't think so. I don't think there's going to be any kind of positivity on here whatsoever. Because we're looking at positivity. I mean, X and positivity are things that don't mix well. All right. All right. Case in point right here. Please post a bit more positive, beautiful, or informative content on this platform. Elon, this is X, Twitter. You bought the thing. You own the thing. You even made humorous memes yourself and contributed to the madness here, Elon. Elon! Listen to me. Positivity and the internet do not go well together. Never have, never will. I've been in this business for 7 years. Yes, the internet can be a beautiful place, but I do find it interesting that now you got people who state this. I was getting 10 million plus impressions because people have been a little bit critical to Elon. 10 million impressions a day. That's incredible numbers. Then wrote some comments disagreeing about the H-1B position of the ex-emperor. Then my reach cratered the last 48 hours. Lost 80% of my reach all of a sudden. That was wild. I wonder if they changed the algo on this topic. Person named Sarah Rose. Is F yourself in the face positive, beautiful, or informative? I kid. You know, in the immortal words of Elon Musk, go F yourself in the face of subtard MAGAs, right? Positive. There we go. Please be a little bit more No, it's Luigi right there. Is this what you mean about positive? Hey, look who it is. It's Fauci. You got Bill Gates and all the other fantastic friends going to jail. Another person, literally the most stupid car ever created.
You're moving forward to look at a program that maybe could use a little bit of reform.
Yes, that would happen if Donald Trump hadn't built his entire brand, the MAGA brand, off of being anti-immigrant. He could have gone another path and said, you know, America is great because we thrive off of our immigrant population, who, when you look at regions across the country, the areas with more immigrants correlate with more innovation, more economic growth. When it's restricted, there's less R&D. Tech companies aren't as successful. There's less growth and wages slow. So we know that immigrants are a key ingredient to the United States exceptionalism. And Elon Musk himself, a recipient of the H-1B visa, knows very well.
You know what she's not mentioning, though, is the absolute failure of the sanctuary cities and what happened to many of these working class migrants who were used as political pawns by both Democratic and Republican politicians for the past 4 years. You know, I'm all for people trying to improve their lives coming in here properly. But on the other hand, when you have politicians then constantly using people who are desperately trying to escape a war zone or try to improve themselves, use them as pieces for a narrative, you are going to get very mixed results, which is why there's so much confusion about what to do with the border, why there's so much confusion amongst both political parties, is because they've created a confusing, sloppy mess that's going to chew up innocent people and spit them out.
Problem is, it goes against the entire brand Donald Trump built his political campaigns on, which was anti-immigrant. It's their fault that you're not making money. And so when MAGA hears that these two want to expand the H-1B visa program, they hear we Americans are not good enough. you want to go find other people because we're not good enough. But the real issue here is as was mentioned by Pete, is there's actually a backlog in the green card process right now, and the pipeline with the green cards is slowing down the H-1B visa program. So even though 100% of, this is from the Cato Institute, 100% of the recipients of H-1B visas are receiving market rate or more wages, they're staying in those jobs because we don't have enough visas available, and they're not moving into green card programs. So there's some institutional stuff that needs to be dealt with as well.
And so, Nomi, how, like, you're talking about the technical part of it. How do you think then?
Bad cookies. No Mickey Kantz. Bad cookies. Go get up and go see the White House counselor. Did someone order a federal psyop? Let's see. Globalists right here. Hold on. What else we got here? Jamie Theisel. Jamie. Get up and go see the White House counselor. Go right now.
If Musk convinces Trump that this is what needs to be done, how do they appropriately message that to so many people who voted for them on, as you note, an anti-immigration platform?
I mean, that is going to be very difficult. You have to re-educate a large swath of their base into understanding that we actually are a pretty inclusive society and that immigrants did build this country up. Unlike what Laura Loomer said, saying that it was white Europeans who built the United States, we know very well it was formerly enslaved people and, of course, immigrants who have built the American exceptionalism that we see and feel today.
And what have the Democrats done to at least address these concerns? Are trying to address things like reparations, people being used as political pawns, because there were a lot of Democrat governors, senators, House representatives, and mayors more than happy to use migrants as political pawns, and then in turn treat them like crap. In Chicago, many of the sanctuary shelters here are subpar. There was an incident here in the city earlier this year where they were going to build a sanctuary shelter on top of contaminated ground, which the people in that community, number one, they weren't informed about its construction. Number two, don't put people there. They'll get sick and get riddled with disease. But no, again, Democrats are no better than this. They were using people like pawns too, to make themselves look better.
So, it's going to be difficult because we have midterms coming up, and there are members of Congress, especially from the MAGA right, who are going to have a difficult time messaging this pro-immigrant policy to their base that they depend on. And I think that actually fares better for Democrats. And there's a little bit of a wedge there in terms of where Democrats, yes, can negotiate, but also use it as a campaign mechanism where, the base is going to be very much against the key issue that Donald Trump built his entire brand on.
Pete, there was always going to be some divide that was going to happen at some point, right? There was going to be some division, which happens no matter how seemingly in lockstep folks are with the president-elect. Is this the start, though?
Listen, Donald Trump is always going to listen to what the tech bros. Listen, he's going to listen to the tech bros, okay? Why? Because they gave him money. People like Elon gave him money. And in this game, if you got the money, you got the power, you got the voice, and then the politicians can write the legislation for you. This shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. You shouldn't be shocked by this. Especially MAGA, breathe in, breathe out. It's okay. We got to talk. This was going to happen. This was always going to happen. Why? Because Democrats do the same game too. If you're a billionaire, if you have money and influence, guess what? You have front door access. If you're a regular voter, or if you're somebody promoting, or you have a lot of influence, and then all of a sudden you are shocked that Trump would support Elon or Vivek or Izzat, consider their policies or their perspective over something that maybe he ran on. That's what politicians do. They say they're going to do something, but never follow through. That is politics 101. You can't act shocked that a politician would do that. We've seen this going on for decades. Trump is no different. Dismiss the fact of viewing him as a hero. Yes, you could be elated of his victory on November 5th, but he's still just a human, still flawed, and still has his own agenda. And in every election, be it a city election, a county election, a state election, a federal election, a candidate, both candidates running for office will make promises. Will they follow through on some of them? Maybe. There is no guarantee.
Of a rift.
No, I think it's the start of a healthy conversation within the Trump-built coalition. And a couple of points on what was said. Number one, Donald Trump ran against illegal immigration. He ran against securing our border and tackling the scourge of illegal immigration in this country. And one of the messaging components I would use if I were Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy and others is to say the H-1B visa program is a way of preventing the offshoring of American jobs, particularly when it comes to the tech industry and our interconnected global economy. It would be very easy to have these jobs in India or Taiwan or elsewhere, but you make sure they're in America and that these individuals are paying taxes and contributing to the strength of our communities by having them come here because they are the best and the brightest. And that's why it's an important program.
And Nomi, just before we go, I'll let you have the last word. Any other thoughts on that topic?
Well, the reality is that these jobs exist in the United States, and they almost entirely exist here, the UK or Canada. So those are not the jobs that are being offshored to India. Those are more lower skill jobs, still very important jobs that tech companies do rely on, and we wish they were here in the United States. But that is another issue that Donald Trump again ran against. Make America great again, bring jobs back to America. Why don't you invest in unions? Why don't you, if you don't think America is smart enough, why don't you fully invest in our public education system?
Yes, exactly. Right. I've heard this before, and listen, I can't bear it anymore. It's too painful to listen. It's going to be very easy for a lot of liberals and Democrats to jump on board and say, "Ha ha, Trump's doing this. We told you he was a liar. You should have voted Democrat." No, because Biden was never going to invest, or neither was Kamala. She was never going to invest in public education, or in jobs, or in infrastructure here for the United States to help out Americans. Because they'll do the same thing too. But the only difference is at least Democrats will put a fancy neoliberal mask on it so it'll fly under the radar. Trump, he's more of a big blowhard, chalking everything out loud. Then you got Elon and Vivek, two very high profile people. But this is one of the things that I really, really found fascinating during the first 4 years of Trump's administration. That is, he put an ugly face on everything that's been going on for decades that probably nobody really knew about or people weren't paying attention to. Wars overseas. Why are there wars overseas? Why there's a crisis at the border? Our entire political system. Trump put an ugly face on it. The immigration crisis, it was always going to be this ugly. And yes, if the tech billionaires want people that they want with the H-1B visas, they're going to get it. Why? Because they pay off politicians. Money in politics is a thing. Thanks, Supreme Court. Thanks for allowing corporations to be people, because that's how these institutions are able to get away with this. So Trump put an ugly face on it, and everybody sees it. But this isn't anything new, because it's been going on during the Biden administration, Trump's first administration, Obama's administration, Bush Jr.'s administration, going backwards, all the way back to Ronald Boy Reagan, where it's always been this corrupt, where it's always been utter hypocrisy. As soon as the floodgates open for our politicians to be bought and owned by our corporate overlords, that's when the system was starting to look ugly. But because corporate media was very influential at that time, they were able to put a pretty face on it. One of the benefits of a Trump administration is everything's going to look very ugly, and the truth will be revealed. Just like in the movie They Live. You put those sunglasses on, and oh my goodness, consume, obey. The almighty dollar is your God. Are you awake? These politicians lie. And what have we said about lies? What have we always said?
All lies will be exposed.
As they should. Do I think this is still going to be an ongoing conversation? Yes. Do I think Elon Musk stepped in it and now he's trying to backpedal out of the mess he made? Yeah. But don't ask for positivity on the internet. Why would you do that? Why would you even consider even making that statement? Positivity and Twitter, it's like oil and water. They never mix.